She died of a broken heart and woke up with a second chance. At 17, penniless and adrift, Stella Moore is writing to escape poverty, but fame demands a cost, and love might be the riskiest plot twist of all. Once a ghostwriter, now a prodigy, can she rewrite her story without losing herself? The clock is ticking, and the world is suddenly watching. Hello everyone, this is Drama Lab, let the story begin. I lay there in the hospital, chest throbbing where 2 ribs had cracked, listening to Mom's ragged sobs outside the exam room. Please, doctor, she's burning up, her voice hitched, and I squeezed my eyes shut. This wasn't my body, not really. But the pain, all too real. 3 days earlier, I'd died in a dingy apartment, my heart giving out after finding Ethan in bed with that intern. Now I was Stella Moore, 17, a high school dropout crushed by a falling beam at the construction site where she'd worked to help Mom pay rent. Memories of this life flooded in, Mom and Dad moving from rural Alabama to Aurora City after the tornado, the $18,000 scraped together for my city ID and school enrollment, the stupid choice to sneak out last weekend for extra cash, thinking I could fix our debts. The door creaked. A doctor in a stained coat loomed, his cologne sharp. Vitals look fine, he mumbled, hands lingering too long on my collarbone. I froze. In my past life, I'd learned to recognize that look, the slow drag of eyes, the feigned casualness. Before I could react, Mom burst in, apron dotted with drywall dust. Stella, baby, you awake? I managed a weak smile. I'm okay, Mom. My voice was higher, younger, than I remembered. She fussed with my blankets, lip trembling. Your dad's out back, begging the foreman for more compensation. That $5,000 won't cover, Mom, I said, catching her wrist. Her skin was rough, calloused from years scrubbing dishes at the diner. I'll be fine. Let's go home. Home was a 400-square-foot cottage off Railroad Avenue, where trains rattled the windows all night. Dad's first words when we walked in, the landlord called. We're 2 months late. That night, I stared at the water-stained ceiling, replaying my past life, Ethan's cologne mixed with hers on our sheets, the script for *Lover**, my first hit, crumpled in my purse, unshared. In that life, I'd been a ghostwriter, churning out rom-coms for hacks who took the credit. Now, I had a second chance. This time, I wouldn't waste it. School started a week later. Westlake High smelled of chalk and teenage ambition, neither of which I'd ever cared for. But as I flipped through the calculus textbook in Mr. Grady's class, something strange happened. The equations rearranged themselves in my head, solving like a puzzle. By lunch, I'd finished the entire semester's work. You're either a genius or cheating, muttered Jake, the kid beside me, who'd stared at one problem for 20 minutes. I said nothing, slipping into the library to log onto a beat-up computer. A search pulled up Prairie Dream Internet Cafe, $4 an hour, 24/7, no ID needed if you knew the owner, Kai Voss. Stella's memories flickered, a quiet guy into vintage jazz, who'd let her use his back office to study last year. That afternoon, I found the cafe. As I stepped in, a man looked up from behind the counter. No more than 30, with ink-stained fingers and a sharp jawline. Stella. He set down a mug, voice low, like testing the name. Mr. Voss. He laughed. Kai. You look better than when you stumbled in at 2 a.m. last month, crying over a chemistry test. Stella had been that kid. I need a favor. Can I use a computer? An hour. He nodded to the back. Office is open. Passwords Bluebird. I pulled up Horizon Lit, the country's biggest literary site, and typed not the sappy rom-coms of my past, but something bolder, a fantasy epic about a blacksmith's apprentice who bends metal with her mind. By sunset, I'd written 15,000 words. Kai knocked, poking his head in. Cafe's closing. You gonna eat? I glanced at the screen, surprised. I didn't realize, grilled cheese. He returned minutes later with a plate. The cheese stretched, burning my tongue. You writing a book? Trying to. I hesitated. Do you know if Horizon Lit is good for new authors? He leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed. Depends. You got something to say? I thought of Ethan, the uncredited scripts, Stella's parents working themselves raw. Yeah. I do. He smiled. Then it's good. That night, I uploaded the first chapter under the pen name Lirail. By morning, 200 comments. 2 weeks later, Mr. Grady cornered me after class. Stella, your test score's unprecedented. Have you considered early admission to Aurora University? I froze. College. Dad had mentioned it before medical bills piled up. I can't afford scholarships. Full ride, if you test into the gifted program. He handed me a pamphlet. Exams next week. Think you're ready? I thought of Mom's calloused hands, Dad's late-night warehouse shifts. Yes. But life had other plans. That afternoon, I found Mom on the porch, tears soaking her shirt. Dad's in the hospital. He collapsed at work. The ER waiting room reeked of antiseptic. Dad lay on a gurney, 4 in his arm, face grey. Heart arrhythmia, the nurse said. Stress-induced. I held his rough hand, calloused from lifting crates, and decided. That night, I wrote until 3 a.m. fingers cramping. By dawn, 50,000 words. I hit publish, then collapsed into bed. Kai called the next afternoon. You're trending. Lirail, that's you, isn't it? My heart raced. How did you, Horizons blowing up about the fantasy novel by a mysterious teen author? Your protagonist's name is Stella. Not subtle. He paused. You okay? You sound tired. I told him about Dad, the bills, the scholarship exam I might miss. I need money, Kai. Fast. Come to the cafe. He waited with a printout, an offer from Horizon Lit $5,000 advance, plus royalties, if I signed by week's end. They want to fast-track it. Your book's got 10,000 followers. I traced the signature line, hands shaking. I don't know anything about contracts. Kai pulled up a chair, pointing to a clause. This means they own the movie rights. And this, he scribbled in the margin. Demand quarterly royalties, not annual. You know a lot about this. He shrugged. I used to write. Before my dad said I should do something practical. We spent an hour redlining the contract. When I left, the paper felt like a lifeline. Dad came home 3 days later. That same day, I aced the gifted exam. Mr. Grady clapped my back. Aurora U's never had a 17-year-old in their program. You're making history. That night, my laptop pinged, an email from Horizon's head editor, Marcus Hale. *Lirail, let's meet. I think we can make you a star. The cafe was quiet when I arrived the next afternoon. Marcus sipped a latte, silver hair gelled back. Stella Moore. Or Lirail. I tensed. How did you? Kai mentioned a bright kid who writes here. Put 2 and 2 together. He slid a contract across the table. We'll bump the advance to $20,000. But we need exclusivity. No other publishers for 5 years. 5 years. I thought of Dad's bills, Mom's exhausted smiles. I need to think. Your parents work themselves to death while you waste talent at a community college? Or let me make you rich. The bell jangled. Kai appeared, wiping a mug. Everything okay, Stella? Marcus's smile tightened. Just discussing Stella's future. Something you wouldn't know, Mr. Voss. Kai's jaw flickered. I know enough to tell her when someone's swindling her. Marcus stood, smoothing his suit. Think it over, Lirail. Deadline's Friday. After he left, Kai sat across from me. He's a vulture. 5-year exclusivity? That's slavery. I need the money. I'll loan you $5,000. No interest. I stared. Why? He shrugged, ears pink. You're a good kid, Stella. A great writer. Don't let them cage you. That night, I signed the original contract, crossing out the exclusivity clause. But the advance hit my account the next morning. I paid Dad's hospital bill first, then bought Mom a new apron with sunflowers. School ended in August, and I moved into Aurora U's dorms. Dad cried while carrying boxes. Write every day, Mom said, hugging me tight. Kai showed up later, leaning against his beat-up Volvo. You'll visit the cafe? Every weekend. I grinned. Someone's gotta keep you in business. He laughed, handing me a book, *The Art of Styling Sentences*. For when you get stuck. I flipped to the title page. He'd written, "Don't ever stop writing. Kai." That semester flew by. My book hit shelves in October, rocketing to bestseller lists. Fans camped outside my dorm, screaming for Lyrail. Marcus called daily, begging for a sequel. But the best part? Weekends at Kai's cafe, typing while he hummed jazz and made too strong coffee. One rainy Saturday, he found me staring at a blank screen. Writer's block. I don't know what happens next. To the blacksmith. To her powers. He pulled up a chair, reading over my shoulder. She's scared. Of what she can do. So she runs. I stared. How did you? Because you're scared, too. Of being seen. Of wanting more. The words hung. Outside, rain drummed. I thought of Ethan, the life I'd lost, the one I was building. What if I mess it up? He tucked a strand of hair behind my ear. Then you try again. That's the point, right? I kissed him, sudden and fierce. He froze, then pulled me closer. Later, at the National Book Awards, he found me backstage, hugging me tight. Told you you'd be a star. I laughed, pressing my face to his chest. Not a star. Just a girl with a second chance. He pulled back, grinning. Best second chance I ever saw. For the first time, I was exactly where I belonged. Stella Moore. Lyrail. Writer. Survivor. And, if I was lucky, Kai Voss's girl. Life was never about endings. It was about do-overs. Chances to rewrite your story, love harder, live better. I'd take that.